What is up, my YouTubians? Welcome back to my channel, T-Man the Man. I am Taylor, T-Man, known as the Man. Everybody had a great week. I've been having a good week. It's Monday, so it's going. It's still going, you know. My update on my diet. So, I cheated again. Oh man, is it illegal? Is it illegal to eat? Is it? No. So man, it seems like I just eat the tiniest little bit and it turns into like, there's like a machine in here that times it 10x's it in there. It's like I eat one thing and it 10x's into here. I'm like, what's happening? I need to start researching, what do you call it, like metabolistic foods. I need to be on a metabolistic diet somehow. Some kind of foods that are metabolizing. Because metabolism, I feel like, is like gone out the window. One barbecue could sacrifice my whole regime. 6 months to work off 2 burgers, you know. I guess that's how it is when you're like 40 years old. I guess, you know. My 20s, man, I used to just eat. I just miss those days. I remember going to my dad's house. Rest in peace. My dad, man, I miss him, but I used to go to his house and just grill like 10 burgers and just all of them. And then his roommate was like, he was like, I don't know, must have been around maybe in his 30s or something at the time. I'm like a teenager, maybe 17, 18. And I'm just throwing down like 10 greasy burgers with everything on it. And I got a 6-pack. I'm just like, what? Eat a thing, man. That's what I eat for lunch. Maybe 10 more later for dinner. And he's over there going to the gym every day. I remember him always saying like, dude, this is messed up. I literally work out like 4 hours a day and I can't even get that. And man, I realize his pain now. Because I miss that. I miss those burgers. I miss that 6-pack and those burgers. But the struggle's real, you know. The struggle is real. Being this old, not that I'm like old, super old or anything, but at this age, that's a better term. Being at this age, you really got to have discipline on what you eat, or else, look at that, the heavens above just shined in. You really got to have discipline. And I don't have as much discipline as I should right now for my diet, so we're working on it. Okay, we're working on it. It's coming along. At least it's on the brain, you know. You got to have to keep it on the brain. And the whole point of this is I weighed 235 this morning. 3 days ago I was 230. I don't know what happened. So I just like 10x whatever I ate yesterday, and I didn't even eat that much. So it is what it is, you know. But some other good news with the look at these pearly whites. Ching, ching, ching. Looking nice, huh? It's been like 2-3 weeks, and I've been using this regime with the teeth, and it works good. Even the old beautiful wifey noticed. She was like, I see those teeth. She's like, what's going on? I was like, yeah, you see that? You see that? They're white. They're white. It's because, you got to check it out, man. It's simple. And if you just do it, that's the only thing I've been consistent with lately, besides, diet hasn't worked out, but that has. So I just put a little bit of toothpaste. You're not even supposed to use a lot of toothpaste. You're only supposed to use a little bit. It's actually bad for your teeth if you use a lot of toothpaste. So I just put enough on there, just a touche, just enough to stick. I just put a little dipping jar of can't think right now, baking soda, a little baking soda. So just get enough toothpaste on there to track stuff. Dip it in the baking soda, and then I put a little hydrogen peroxide on top of that as my water, and then I brush, and then I dip it one more time while it's wet, get a little more baking soda in there, and just brush for like triple the amount of time that you normally do. Just have it in your mind like triple brush, and doing that 2-3 times a day, and it's been working out. And so this is what the results have been I've noticed really I can't talk, really a lot, it doesn't even sound right. I've noticed a lot is, so I smoked for like 20 years, it's been a few years since I quit, but I smoked for a long time. I treated my mouth like crap. I drank and I smoked, and really beat my gums up. So I've always had like, a lot of people, it's pretty common to have your gums bleed a little bit when you brush your teeth. This stuff completely erased that. My gums are healthy as a log cabin. They're healthy now. So that's one amazing part of it, which I was like, wow, that's great. So yeah, so if you're really interested in that, do that, man. It's game changer for the teeth and the gums and stuff and your gum health. Maybe I had like a little gingivitis in there or something. I don't know. I haven't been to the dentist in years, but it's really helped. Anyways, so today's main topic today is I want to do a little talk about the UK versus the USA, because I just got back from London, as you may know from the other channel that I'm on, which is My Name is Joyful Life. Check it out if you haven't. And also if you haven't, do that too. And thank you for the subscribers that have subscribed. Thank you very much. Oh, Ashley, you love me, and I love you too. But anyway, so me and my wife and the family, we just got back from London a couple weeks ago. And if Aisha's watching, thank you so much, Aisha, for your hospitality. Oh my gosh, she treated us like, man, it was so nice. We were there for almost 2 months. So it was a long vacation. We did a lot. And so it was kind of like being a local there. I saw a lot of stuff and got to experience a lot. I was being like, just like kind of like living there, I was like taking the kids to school, driving everywhere, taking road trips, and I did a lot of driving over there, which was interesting. Which I'll be honest, I was kind of scared to do that. But Aisha, just bless her heart, she just was one day, I was like, Taylor, drive. I was like, okay, I'm driving. And I just did it. And it's like over here on this side, it was just like, what? It was weird. I couldn't get over the fact that the steering wheel on the other side, only when I'm walking up to the car, I kept going to the wrong side, and I was like, this side, not that side. So that was interesting, but I got used to it. I think I only I drove on the wrong side of the road like once, and I was able to get off right away immediately. So yeah, it was pretty interesting, but it was fun though. I enjoyed the experience. I love a challenge, so it was definitely challenging, and yeah, it was fun. But a lot of the differences I like to talk about. So let's start off with well, of course the driving. Okay, we'll start off with the roads. The roads suck. I'm sorry, UK. I'm sorry, London. I'm sorry, the whole country over there. Your roads suck. It's beautiful in the country, though. I will say that. The countryside roads are beautiful. They're just too small. They're too small. There should be for one car only. And they expect 2 cars to be honest. And the people, they just park all over the road. They don't care. They just park in the road because supposedly the reason is because their houses don't have driveways, a lot of them. Because a lot of them are like older. I don't know why they design that way. Why would you not design a house without a driveway? Make driveways, man. And so everyone parks on the road and it just blocks everything. So it's usually only one car can fit through big sections at a time because there's a bunch of cars parked in a row. So then you got to like realize that. And I started to learn it kind of at the end, but at the beginning it was really like confusing, like what's going on here? Because then I just keep going. I'm like, it's my right of way, I can go. But you're supposed to notice like who enters the one car zone first. And like if they're coming up first, they're gonna wait. They're gonna pull over to the side and wait for me to go. If I pull up first, I need to pull over and let them go. Or the other way around? Whoever goes in first, and the person waits. Yeah, I'm mixed up. Other way around. So you need to get in there first so you can make them wait. And you got to be conscious of that because the first few times I just went in there when I wasn't supposed to. And then so now we're just like, I'm like, what do we do now? We get out and fight? Or like, what do we do? What do we do? Who goes first? What's happening? And it was embarrassing and it sucked. So that part sucks. And I get why their cars are all small because of that. All the cars are tiny. They're tiny little cars. Very tiny little cars. And there's like no trucks. So that was the first thing I noticed. Driving and stuff. And people have a lot of road rage as well. A lot of road rage over there. I got honked at like 10, 15 times for little things, but it's okay. I still enjoyed your Britain or your UK. Okay, so the cars is one thing. Second thing, of course, the plugs. And I actually enjoyed the plugs because they had like this on-off switch on all the plugs. And if you know, you know. That little on all the, each plug has its own on-off switch. So you can just like turn the thing off right there, which I enjoyed that. I kind of missed that. I think it helps with like, couldn't have with like electrical fires and stuff, you know, making sure everything's turned off. And you can just like turn all your light switches off everywhere. Like some of them have like a main switch in the living room. They'll turn off all the switches in the living room and also the plugs, you know. So that was kind of cool. And then some differences is like the way they spell some certain stuff, like color, center. Center is S or CENTRE instead of ER. Like centre. That's weird. Okay, and then what else? So they call elevators lifts. They don't say elevator. They call the bathrooms or the restrooms, they call them toilets. I'm like, oh, right to the point, huh? Toilets, okay. Some other stuff. Their food, don't even get me started on the food. The food is way better. I'm not gonna lie. The food is not, okay, hold on. It's not way better. It's way healthier. We'll go there. It's way healthier. Way healthier. And I noticed like they don't refrigerate their eggs. Their eggs are just like in the bread aisle. We like freak out over here if our eggs aren't refrigerated. And I tried to tell it to the wifey, I was like, eggs, do chickens have refrigerators in the wild? No, they don't. They just lay them and then you eat them. And so we saw that firsthand. Nobody refrigerates their eggs. Okay. Their bread expires in like 2-3 days because there's no preservatives. Like a loaf of bread here would last for like a month. Their milk only lasts a few days. It's all like organic. All their food is just really healthy. I noticed that first off the bat. And I was like, man, I was like losing weight a little bit just by eating normal. Of course, I was in a Nigerian house, so we were having like big Nigerian feasts every night. So it's a little different with the food scene that I was particularly in. We didn't eat like British food really, but I did try crumpets, which was really nice. Crumpets are amazing, by the way. I like crumpets. So the food's really good. And like everything is low calorie, sugar free, and I thought that was amazing. And their water is amazing. Tap water is the most cleanest in the world. It's literally, their tap water is cleaner than bottled water. That blew my mind a little bit. So I was very amazed with that. I was like, man, okay, good job. You drink tap water here, you already know what happens. You're like, oh, I'm seeing spots. You gotta go to the hospital or something. You don't drink that. You just don't do it. You just don't do it unless you're on your deathbed. And even then, I'd be like, nah, I'll just go. But yeah, really clean tap water. I was amazed with that. What are some other things? Other things was, and one more thing about the cars is a lot of them are diesel cars. And their gas prices were cheap. Their petroleum was like under $2. It was cheap, way cheaper than here. And yeah, it was an overall amazing experience. We went to Stonehenge. I got to see that. That's like one of the things I checked off my bucket list. Stonehenge was amazing. If you ever get the chance to go out there, do it. It was so cool. You had to like park like I don't know, maybe like a mile or two away, and you had to walk towards it, so there's no cars around it and stuff, through all these like fields of sheep and stuff. It was really cool. But if you ever get the chance, I highly recommend that. That was one of the highlights of the trip. And downtown London was really interesting. Everyone's like just busy, hustle, kind of like your normal big busy city. Like I'm from Seattle, Washington, so it kind of reminded me of that. But people are not as friendly as Americans. I will say that, excuse me. I will say that. They're not as friendly. They are definitely just like there to do their own thing. And one of the parts of London that really amazed me was the train system. The train system blew my mind. I mean, the infrastructure of the train system is just massive. I mean, it's like, how did we build this stuff? And like you go down to it's called the underground. Okay, you get your like trains on top. It's like go from like the big cities to the big cities, and then you get your underground, which takes you to like, I don't know, smaller cities, in town and stuff. And those trains are rough. Those are the ones where you're like hiked in there with a bunch of people and stuff. And so that was interesting to watch. And like the escalators going down is like, you're literally going underground, deep, you know. So that was really cool to see. Yeah, it was a very interesting trip. Definitely a little bit of a culture shock. You know, it's interesting to be in another country where everyone speaks differently than you, and you're the odd one out, you know. And like, I was already kind of like mimicking British people when before we left because I was getting ready for it. And then like as I'm there, I'm like, stop doing that because I want to speak American because that's how I stand out. You know, here I talk like a British accent, I stand out, but I'm like, just be yourself. And so it was fun. It was fun, like embarrassing Showers. If you're watching this, Showers. He's one of our nephews. It was fun hanging out with him and just going to stores and stuff and just being an American and over there. You know, it's just funny. But it was a really great trip. If you guys got any differences that you noticed if you went on a trip there, let me know in the comments. I'd like to hear about it because I'm sure there's other stuff I'm missing, but it was an overall fun thing to do. We're really lucky to experience all that, and we want to go back to this time. We're gonna go to Europe first, do the France, Germany, all that stuff first, and then go train back into London. But London was definitely amazing. I love the big city. It was like very cool mixture of like technology and old world castle-y type stuff, you know. And like, you know, we took a riverboat cruise of the whole city, all the cool stuff. What was it called? The Parliament or something, whatever it is, the castle place where the Queen is and stuff. Saw that. The London Bridge. London Bridge is falling down, you know, that place. We saw the Big Ben, the clock, and there's some like weird history behind that. I don't remember, but I'm not going to try and butcher that. But it was interesting. And then we did like the bus tour around and stuff. So we had a really good time. Kids loved it. I loved it. But honestly, at the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, I like to come back to America. It's more stuff to do. It did seem like you could get bored over there, you know, unless you're not like downtown London every day, you know, checking out the city life, because it was just kind of like, you know, okay, we did stuff, we did that. Now, if I was like, had to stay here, I'd be like, I don't know. I feel like Americans just got more fun stuff to do. But yeah, it was a great time. Really good time. I would recommend going there. I wouldn't go for 2 months though. It was a little bit long for us. We were kind of ready to go at the end. Not because we weren't having fun, but we just kind of did everything that we wanted to do. But it was a great time. Anyways, I'll end this note on some lovely jams. You guys like to hear a jam? Let's jam. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great week. I'll see you guys in a couple days. And I'm gonna have to go to basketball practice with the kids. We got stuff to do. Boom, boom, boom. Don't forget to. I'll see you next time. Thanks.